Hello and welcome, Knuckle Vermilion here with another video, and I'm going a different direction from what I had planned to do for this video. Large part of this is because of the latest video at the time of this recording by Rick Beato, but also other videos such as at the bottom left what you see there, AI is ruining the internet. Now the rest of the videos shown are basically music related in some form or another because that's something that I tend to listen to a lot. Obviously, covers, remixes, arrangements, and stuff like that. A lot of video game influence stuff, obviously, along with some um, anime cover, which is seen with Ina's videos center left, and that one curious one by Aviators right above. Now, while it is relevant for me to show like what kind of music I do listen to, this is not like going to be like some big gotcha or anything like that. Because surprisingly enough, in Rick's video, one of three reasons I'm doing things this way with Rick's video, basically does reinforce something that I've been saying for a long time, which is that modern music has become this sort of niche, which is kind of a sad thing to think about. And while I do tend to think, well, maybe I can be wrong, maybe there's something here and maybe music's greater than I thought, but the thing is that even as Rick pointed out in his video, not a lot of people search it. There's more people who have their eyes to social media than to like the kind of media that's online. Now, of course, I could always say it could be this thing, it could be that thing, but that would be missing the point. Now, as I said, the AI video on the bottom left is very much relevant to this. And the reason for that is I do think that is a contributing factor to this because of not only with people paying a lot of attention to AI, but also how often AI is used now, such as in data scraping and stuff like that. And so that may be having a negative influence, as well as the fact that people rely on a computer to tell them what to look for rather than seek it out themselves. Although I don't blame them because seeing how modern search results tend to not be very cooperative. Matter of fact, my original plan was going to be talking about people like Ina, who's seen center left with her anime cover there, her cover of an anime song. But even then, like I've had some difficulties trying to find songs because like she's in Hololive and a whole bunch of stuff from Hololive that I find interesting musically that I think would have been a great thing to talk about, along with so many other people who use, who basically portray themselves as these anime influenced and video game influenced characters, virtual reality models, basically virtual YouTubers or VTuber for short. Something I myself do, although I've never done a stream before, so there is that. And while I am curious of what Rick Beato would say, at the same time, not sure if it would be something of his interest. But then again, there's also some things that make me wonder, maybe, I don't know, there is something to the whole virtual reality thing that, with the whole VTuber thing that I think shouldn't be overlooked. But of course, there's still a matter of, as Rick pointed out in his video, that certain things just aren't researched all that much, which goes into the thing that I have often said in the past of music becoming niche entertainment along with other stuff. And as to why I don't bother Marco Meatball up there. Hold on, let me just change it. Well, this is the reason I don't really bother with Marco Meatball, though. If he wants to give his opinion on this video and he happens upon this video, he's more than welcome. After all, this video is welcome to anyone who would have a opinion. And of course, you'd see picture of Marco in that 170 musicians collab above the eye. And of course, if you look in little spots here and there, you'll see other people who do the whole VTuber thing. Although some may just be V singers. A quick lesson, because I know some people might be a little bit confused. Basically, the whole thing with VTubers and V singers, like, there was a time when people would use like the computer to do synth voices, like Utao and Vocaloid. Hatsune Miku being the mascot for Vocaloid, having a computer do all of it. And so when it comes to the VTuber thing and a large portion of the V singer thing, basically the whole thing of using that virtual character but having it replay instead of using an actual computer, instead using real people as like actors and the like. And of course, you got a bunch of hobbyists like myself jumping into the fray, so there's that as well. So, back on topic. One of the other videos that I want to focus on is that one up there, which is why is everything so bland now, which is another video that I find interesting. And having that focus in relation to like what Rick Beato was talking about in that video on AI, as seen in my history, it's that maybe between the data scrapers and people relying on the computer to tell them what's out there instead of actually looking for the music, which people clearly don't do, as Rick Beato pointed out very easily in his video. They rely on machines to do it, and unfortunately, oftentimes it's basically the same kind of stuff that everyone else has heard at one point or another, oftentimes to ad nauseum. And this does result in such opinions like, oh, modern music is bad. And that's only because, well, people don't look for the music. And Rick Beato does a great job of pointing that out, that people don't look for the music. They don't look for music. They don't search rock. They don't search rap, country, or whatever. They instead search social media and rely on social media to find whatever it is they're looking for, which results in finding what you see there. Whatever bland, generic stuff is just tossed out there. Now, I can argue for days on end with what Rick Beato said about people not caring about music, because there is a lot of people out there who do care, of course, and I could even be with a pushback, like I was showing with that collab for One Winged Angel, 170 person collab, with people even doing like choir portions or playing instruments or whatever. But even then, like, the whole thing with entertainment becoming this niche, and it isn't even just a matter of entertainment, but just art as well, which is another topic that Rick Beato demonstrated in his video. Hmm. And while it would be easy to say, hey, why not look at the stuff that I've shown in my history, Not everyone's going to care about the video game stuff, Not everyone's going to want to listen to One Winged Angel. Not everyone's going to listen to whatever is played on the Game Metal channel. Not everyone's going to have the same taste as Marco, so there is that. And usually that's an okay thing. But again, like I said, people rely on the system to tell them what to listen to. People search the social media rather than seek out the music themselves. And unless you get really lucky, like those of us who've been listening to the music of VTubers, you're not going to really see much of anything. And not just the whole thing with VTubers do music and video game inspired music and anime inspired music. There's also a lot of other stuff that gets ignored. But of course, though, there's also a bit of a cynicism to it as well. So that's basically what I have to say about this. And there is one more thing, though, that I noticed. Because this does also go into the whole thing of the whole matter of like YouTube and content and people inventing reasons to not like something. Because I'll be honest, there is one other person. I am not gonna say anything. Not gonna disclose the gender of this person. Not gonna disclose when this person uploaded or whatever. But there is one video that has also been made influence on this that I intentionally left out of the history. Not because of some personal shame or whatever, but because there is a bit of hostility, person talking about, oh, how bad Jake Paul is, and it's like, well, here's this again. Someone that said someone also brought up VTubers and almost sounded like they were grossed out at just saying that term, so, okay. And even insulted someone that I respected, saying how that person's somehow worse than Jake Paul, which is like, all because of a difference in opinion on musical taste. Yeah. So that's another thing that is a factor. People not wanting to give something a chance. They'll be like, because this is the kind of thing that I've heard constantly. Like even if I were to make mention of outside of the whole VTuber stuff or getting like games and such, like with Aviators, I shown with my history Aviators and that song. What is that song again? My apologies here. Yeah, the song My Church. I'd be like, hey, this is an interesting one. And some may say it's overproduced or whatever. It's like, you know what, fine, whatever. But then there are some people who will be like, oh, it sounds too southern. And it's like, that's it. You're not gonna even give it a chance, or oh, I bet it's all religious and blah blah blah, which is another one of those annoying things. People inventing reasons not to bother with something when it could very well be something that they could enjoy. Hmm. I could go on talking about a lot of other things, be it anime, be it like different niches of rock and hip hop, but what I'd be doing at this point is repeating myself. Hmm. So that's what I had to say about this whole thing. With all that said, I am Neko Vermillion, and I thank you for watching.